Hello, I'm Tom Booker, Senior Instructor. Thank you for joining me. This video tutorial is over the Horizontal Knife Hand Strike. Now, for the knife hand itself, our hand shape is this. Fingers pressed tightly together, thumb tucked in. I want to keep my wrist nice and straight with any use of the knife hand. When you first see this, it can be easy to confuse with the palm heel. The hand shapes are very similar, but with the knife hand, my wrist is straight. With the palm heel, my wrist is going to be pulled back this way. So look for the wrist position to tell the difference between the two. Now, with this knife hand, our striking surface is going to be here, the outer edge of the palm, in between the base of the little finger and the top of the wrist. I want to be especially careful when I'm working with the knife hand that I'm not striking with the fingers here, that I'm keeping the strike in this area. Now, also, I want to be sure that I'm keeping my hand tightly tensed up with the fingers locked together, the thumb tucked in here. If I'm tensing up on this, my fingertips are going to hook down very, very slightly. If my hand is lying completely flat this way, it looks real good. But it means the muscles of my hand are still pretty relaxed. I shouldn't be striking this way. I tense up the muscles, I'm going to get that little pull down at the end. This is really where I want to be. Now, we'll come back to that in just a moment. The stance we are going to be using for this is a horse stance, sometimes called a riding stance or a straddle stance or a sitting stance, because it looks like you're sitting or riding on the back of a big invisible horse. Your feet are out nice and wide, your knees are bent and pushed outward. I want to be careful that they're not rolling inwards. And my feet are parallel to each other with my toes pointing forward. I want to be careful that my toes are not rotating outward. Now, one other thing about this horse stance shows up better from the side. I want to be sure that I'm keeping my head and shoulders over my hips and my feet, that I'm nice and upright in this, that I'm not leaning forward. If you have ever ridden a horse, you start doing this, you're going to fall off your horse, and it's a long way to the ground. Now, I mention that because your legs are going to have to work pretty hard to hold you in this position. So it's very natural to start leaning forward a bit. If I do this, my legs don't have to work nearly so hard, and it gets a lot more comfortable, but I'm starting to move into what's more of a sumo wrestling stance now. We're not going to be sumo wrestling. So, head and shoulders over your hips and feet. Keep it upright. So you may need to practice a little bit with that horse stance, because it is a fairly demanding position to be in, but it will also help strengthen your leg muscles. All right, now let's come back to our knife hand. The basic chamber for this strike, we're going to take our striking hand, cross it on top this way, just like you're going to pat yourself on the cheek with it. The other arm crosses in underneath, and we're just coming out, across, and through, off to the side this way. I'm finishing up palm down. And we're here. Out, across, and through, like that. So this is also a bit different from something like a punch that would finish straight out in front of me. This is finishing off to the side. Again, across and through, just like that. Let's try it on the other side. Here, across and through. Just get a feeling for how your arms are moving. And start it on top, just like you're patting yourself on the cheek. Across and through. This hand is just pulling down and into my hip. And here. Across and through. All right, that's what we're going to be doing with our arms. Now we're going to drop back down into that horse stance and put them together. From here, my hand is on top. I'm going to twist back just a little bit. Twist through on the strike. Twist back and twist through. That will give the strike better power. Twist back and twist through. Now a little faster. Twist back, twist through, twist back, twist through, twist back, twist through. Now let's try it on the other side. Twist back, twist through. Now, with the twist, we're keeping our twist fairly small, just like this. If I start twisting more, again, I put myself off balance. I can't see my target well anymore. I'm slowing myself down. And I just don't need it. It's not going to give me any extra power. A slight little twist there. This and this is all I'm really going to need. Twist back, twist through. Twist back, twist through. Twist back, twist through, twist back, and twist through. All right. Now, when you're applying this to a target, we're going to use the big versus for this in our video tutorial. I'm going to start in fairly close to my target here, and we're just going to touch this way. And touch. Just find the target with the edge of your palm. If I'm a little too far away, I'm going to make contact with my fingers, or I'm going to have to start to lean in to reach, again, putting myself off balance. So just find the target, touch. You may need to be closer than you think you do. Then we will touch and use that twist to give this a gentle push. Just touch and push. Touch and push. Once you've got your distance, you know you're in a good, stable position. You're not having to lean to reach. From here, we'll take it a little faster and harder. Twist and strike. I want to be able to do this without throwing my arm away at the end. If I'm using that twist, I can keep good control of this. Here and here. If all I'm using is my arm, that's when this kind of thing is going to happen. I'm going to throw my arm away, and that starts to get pretty hard on my shoulder. Let's have a look at this from the side. Again, we're just going to touch like that. And touch. And touch. Just like that. I'm making sure of my aim. I'm making sure of my distance. I'm making sure I'm using the outside edge of my palm. Then I'm going to touch and push, touch and push. I'm using that little bit of a twist to push through. And finally, twist and strike. That is the horizontal knife hand strike. Thank you for joining me.